No pokrade nada tampoco. Chuchuria. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Am I audible now? Yes, online students, आवाज आ रही है? Okay. Before we start today's proceedings, something about the past, that is yesterday. How many of you how many students are scoring 15 out of 15 as per the answer key? Just wait. Any student scoring 15 out of 15? If any student is scoring 15 out of 15, तो समझ लेना उसके real marks वो शायद नहीं होंगे. There was some technical error. Many students called me up. At least 5 questions came to my notice. I didn't see the complete paper, but 5 questions came into my notice where the answer key for English was concerned. I don't know about the other subjects. शायद उसमें भी होगा. In loading, maybe some technical error was there. So please don't be confused as to what will happen. Dev, Jay, yes, so there were 5 incorrect answers as per me. So I'll just discuss those answers very quickly, that you can be relaxed, satisfied. I'll just try to see where the paper is there. Yes, I have the paper actually. In the extract, the first extract was from Keeping Quiet. Yes. What does the poet want to achieve by counting 1 to 12? The correct answer is B for Bombay. Silence is not death. What does the earth teach us? The correct option is C. Stillness does not mean total inactivity. The third question, how can we achieve the state of seems dead? The correct answer is D for Delhi, taking out time to introspect. There was error in the fourth question. I think the answer given was incorrect. Which word in the stanza seems continues to exist? The correct answer is C, alive. Tiger zinda hai. Again, there were 2 questions I think incorrect where this extract was concerned. The B part, the extract from deep water. Who is I? Fifth question, the answer is C for Chennai, William Douglas. Sixth, the answer was D for Delhi, D for drowning. Drowning cases in Yakima River. Seventh, how was YMCA pool a safe place? The correct option is B for Bengaluru. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end. And the eighth one, why did the mother not allow I to learn swimming? The correct option is C for Chennai, afraid about safety of a child. Question number 9, the MCQs. The correct option for question number 9 was B. B for Bengaluru. Question number 10, the answer is D for Delhi. Question number 11, the correct option was B for Bengaluru. Describes a longing one has been aware of. I think the answer in this question also was a problem. Question number 12, the answer is B for Bengaluru. 13, again B for beautiful, 20,000. Question number 14, there was an error in the answer key. And the correct answer is D for Delhi. Loss of language and loss of freedom. I think the answer mark was B over there. And in 15th one also, the answer was incorrect. The correct answer is what can be added in a notice bearing lost title. The correct answer is a beautiful answer. Reward to the one who has found the object. So these are the answers to the questions where English was concerned for CT2. I think the things will be rectified by today. I've informed them. Yes. So now any idea? Anyone 15 out of 15? कोई नहीं? Good. Anyone else? क्यों? क्या? What was the problem? In fact, I had given the straight questions from the DPP. फिर CBP एक गलत हो गया. अच्छा पर याद नहीं है. Yes. Students are getting 14, 15, fine. In DPP, proofs was given as correct answer. Which DPP? Aryan? Which question you are talking about and which DPP? Can you let me know? I'll just check the things. Which DPP are you talking about, Aryan? I'll just check it out. Aryan, I'll just check out that answer. Continue to exist. I'll check it out. Okay. Thank you. So let's start with the vistas and a different type of a chapter. We have only 2 topics from vistas. The third level written by Jack Finney and the other one is a long chapter, The Enemy, written by Pearl Buck. So these 2 topics are pending where our syllabus for term 1 is concerned. This chapter, the third level, don't get confused at all. This chapter is a figment of imagination. Dimag ka fitur. This chapter talks about the time travel. And this chapter will also tell us that there is intersection of time and space somewhere. Kahin na kahin. Even in the past, there is an intersection of time and space. So when you read this chapter, read with a cool mind, open mind. Don't think much about this chapter. It is totally a fiction, totally imaginary thing. Now, first of all, what is this third level? In very simple terms, third level is an imaginary world. You can just make a note of it, ताकि confuse हो गए नहीं. The third level is an imaginary world which lies between dreams, desires, and reality. I just put it. It is an imaginary world which lies between dreams, desires, and reality. When a person dreams of things, then he desires कि ऐसी चीज होनी चाहिए, and then maybe in imagination he tries to bring it in reality. This is what this complete chapter is all about. The narrator of this chapter is a 31-year-old man called Charlie. He has one wife whose name is Louisa. Charlie, this story revolves around America. As per the railway timetables at the New York Central Station, there are only two levels. Two levels to understand two platforms. From one where the trains like the 20th century, that is the super fast train go, and from the other level, the slow train go. So there are only two levels. But Charlie says that there are three levels at the Grand Central Station. This chapter revolves around the Grand Central Station in New York and how the things happen. One nice day, Charlie was working in the office. He was late. He was in a hurry. He wanted to reach home. So he decided to take a train that day rather than the bus, but trains are faster. So he went to the Grand Central Station. And it was a normal day. Nothing was there in his mind. He just went to the Grand Central Station. He entered, passed the first level, from where the trains like the 20th century, that is the super fast train went. He wanted to take a train to the from the second level. जैसे वो passenger train type की जाती है. He climbed a few steps. He came across a tunnel. He ducked and he went into that arched door. Juka, and he realized that he has lost his way. And this was nothing unusual for Charlie. Charlie के ये रास्ता भटकना कुछ नई बात नहीं थी. Because this railway station at Grand Central had many entrances and exits. So many a times he would go from some other entrance and come out on some other exit. अलग-अलग रास्ते से वो निकलता था. And he realized that he has lost his way. He kept on walking in the tunnel all alone. अकेला-अकेला वो चल रहा था. He could hear his own footsteps walking. After some time, he just realized that the tunnel is opening now. बाहर आ रहा है वो. And for once he thought that he has come out on the second level. But when he turned around, he was just shocked because the things were something of the earlier days, something of the 1890s. He just saw that the ticket windows were smaller, the ticket windows were very less. The offices and all the things were different. He just saw an old railway engine, which was there prevailing in the 1890s. He just saw the dressing sense of the people. It was totally different. He just saw people with long beards, mustaches, and sideburns. Sideburns are bade kalam. This fashion maybe existed in 1890s. He had never seen so many beards and sideburns and mustaches till date. He kept on walking, and he just saw all these changes. And then he realized that he has reached the third level, somewhere in the past. And maybe for once he was delighted because from this third level, he could take a train to a place called as Galesburg. Galesburg, Illinois, this is one place where he had spent his childhood along with his grandfather. So he thought that from here, he'll be able to go and take a train to Galesburg, a very, very peaceful place in the 1890s, 1894. Galesburg was a very, very peaceful place. And in Galesburg, Illinois of 1894, now Galesburg is described of the past. So this chapter just shows the transition of Charlie from present to the past and then to the future. Maybe figment of imagination and combination of intersection of time and space. ये चीज में ध्यान रखना है. Galesburg, Illinois was a very peaceful place. There were big trees big branches, और branches इतने बड़े थे that the branches would cover the roads. It was a very peaceful place. People were relaxed, and in the evenings, the people, the male members, they would smoke cigars sitting in the lawn, and the women would be waving the fans. उनके लिए पंखे कर. And he wanted, this was the place where he spent his childhood along with his grandfather. And he wanted to go, and this place, Galesburg, was 20 years away from the destruction of the First World War and 40 years away from the destruction of the Second World War के destruction से totally दूर थी ये place. When did the World War take place? The First World War took place somewhere in 1914, 1914 के आसपास. So this place was much away from the destructive activities of the World War. A very peaceful place. No stress, no tension. And no doubt Charlie was living a stressed present life. Maybe he wanted to go into that stress-free life in the past. So he decided to take 2 tickets for himself and Louisa to go to Galesburg. He went to the ticket clerk. The ticket clerk looked at his fancy hat because Charlie was wearing the dress of the present, but the attire, the fashion, the style in the earlier days was different. Charlie asked for the fare. कितना किराया हुआ? The clerk calculated the fare. Charlie just saw that he had enough money to buy 2 tickets to Galesburg. He gave that currency of the president, which was prevailing at present, to the clerk. The clerk took those currency, looked at him, and he just told Charlie, "This isn't money, mister. ये पैसा नहीं है. If you try to cheat me, सीधे पुलिस के हवाले." And then Charlie noticed that the currency of 1890s was of different style. And even though, so he just left from there because he did not, even though Galesburg was a peaceful place, but he did not want to go to jail even in 1890. And Charlie returned back. Next day, Charlie went to the exchange counter, exchange cash counter. Yes, we can exchange currencies, buy dollars and other things. And somebody is there. And he exchanged the currency. You have to pay extra for that old currency. But he didn't mind paying that extra money because things in 1890 were much cheaper than the present. He went to the Grand Central Station, tried to search the 3rd level, but he could not find the 3rd level again. Charlie was a bit worried. He told about this experience to his friend, who is a psychiatrist, दिमाग का doctor. Their friend, the psychiatrist friend, told his wife Louisa that this is a waking dream wish fulfillment. Important term है. Waking dream wish fulfillment means जीते चलते दिन में भी सपने देखना. And he told that Charlie wants to run away from the harsh realities of life. He cannot cope up in this life, in this world which is full of stress, war, worries, चिंता से घिरी हुई दुनिया है, and he wants to go into the past. There is nothing called as 3rd level. And Charlie also, the psychiatrist friend also told that the hobby of Charlie makes him link with the past because Charlie had the hobby of collecting old stamps. So the psychiatrist told that your hobby of collecting stamps always links you, पुराने जमाने के stamp collect करते हो, so always links you to the past, and hence you want to run away from this stress-free tension, this life full of stress and tension and worries, to that stress-free life. ये तुमको जोड़ना चाहिए. Charlie thought maybe for once, yes, हो सकता है, but then he realized that this hobby he had got it from his grandfather. His grandfather used to collect stamps, but there were no worries, no stress, no tension, no war in 1890s at the time when the grandfather was there. So it does not mean that those who collect stems wanted to run away from the harshness and the stress of the present world. तो मेरे दादाजी के टाइम पे तो कोई चिंता की बात ही नहीं थी. तो ऐसा नहीं कि जो भी स्टैम्प कलेक्ट करता है वो दुनिया से भागना चाहता है, टेंशन फ्री जिंदगी जीना चाहता है. And then he also realized that President Roosevelt, he too collected stamps. American president, he also collected stamps. He had no worries, no tension. So this is Charlie realizes. Now, one word. Tell me, what is one word for a person who collects stamps? Anyone? This word you can use or you can be asked in the form of a MCQ. Yes, anyone over here? Anyone in front of me? The one who collects, it's not postman, Prasang. Anyone? The answer starts with P, but it is not postman. किसी को पता है? No one. Remember this term. The person who collects stamps, old stamps, is known as a philatelist. Philatelist is a person who collects old stamps. And this hobby of collecting stamps is known philately. This hobby is known as philately. So please remember this term. So Charlie was a philatelist. Give me one word for a person who collects old currencies and coins. कोई बता सकता है? Don't tell me रत्ती वाला, scrap dealer. A person who collects old coins. These are hobbies. क्या करते हो यार? Big world outside physics, chemistry, and maths also. Such something you should know. Anyone over here? Yes, Arun, great. You know things. Arun has given, Narendra has given the answer. Yes, the student Jay. Yes, the students have come up with the answer. क्या ऑफलाइन स्टूडेंट्स नींद में हो क्या? हाँ, अच्छा गूगल लेके बैठे होंगे वो. The person who collects old coins and currencies, they are called as numismatics. Numismatic is a person who collects old coins and currencies. Nothing to do with this chapter. खाली याद आ गया तो just discuss this word. So, this word you have to remember. So now when the psychiatrist told that this is a waking dream, wish fulfillment, he wants to run away, Charlie wants to run away from the harsh realities of life, Louisa became a bit worried. And then Charlie stopped looking for the third level and he continued with his other work along with looking into stamps. Charlie had a nice collection of stamps which he had acquired or which he had got it from his grandfather, Lockwood. After some days, one of Charlie's friend named Sam, he disappeared. वो कहीं गायब हो गया. Nobody knew where that friend of Charlie vanished. Later on, after a few days, a time came when both Charlie and Louisa are searching for the third level. Because now Charlie has a proof that third level exists. Now what happened? After the disappearance of his friend, Sam Weiner, Charlie one day was just going through his collection of stamps. In the collection of stamps, there were stamps of blocks of all old stamps. Plus, there was a nice collection of first day cover also. Yes, I use this term first day cover. You can get a question. What is first day cover? I'll tell you the meaning. What do you mean by this term first day cover? Whenever a new stamp is issued, these philatelists, the person who are fond of collecting old stamps, they buy one stamp and they fix it on an envelope. They write their own address. They put a blank paper inside that envelope. They don't seal it and they post it to their own address. and the postmark proves the authenticity of the date of the stamp. समझ आया what is first day cover? So one day friends was going through all this collection. He came to this collection of first day cover. He just saw a letter. And these first day covers are never open because खाली रहता है, it's never open. And sorry, the time when friend Charles reached third level, he just saw various अपना old style currency, old type fashions and everything. And to confirm, he just saw the date on the newspaper. The date on the newspaper where he reached the third level was 11th June 1894. This is the date when he has reached there. But later on, he stopped searching, and now he and Louisa are again searching for the third level because he is convinced, he knows that the third level exists. So one day he was just going through this collection. He came across a letter which was addressed to his grandfather's address at Galesburg, Illinois in the year 1894. And he opened it, and it was in the collection of first day cover. Charlie could not understand ये अंदर आया कैसे. He opened it and there was a letter in it. And the date of the letter was 18th July. I think I'm correct. 18th July 1894. This is the date when Charlie had reached the third level. Or imagine, जो भी है. And this is the date of the letter writing. Charlie opened that letter and he just read. The letter was written by his friend who had disappeared. So गायब हो गया था, and he had reached Galesburg. Why the third level? And he written a letter. He just tells Charlie that when you told me about third level, I thought that such a place must exist. And then I wished to go to such a place. And Sam was Charlie's friend. And Charlie would tell Sam about his childhood days, good, peaceful old days, which he had spent in Galesburg in 1890s. And Sam was a city boy. वो शहर का बनता था. He wished to go to such peaceful place. So the Sam had written in the letter that when you told me about this third level, I wish that such a place should be there. I desired कि ऐसी जगह होनी चाहिए. And believe me, Charlie, why third level? I have reached Galesburg, Illinois of 1894. It's a very, very peaceful place. People are friendly, and I've been invited for a lemonade drink party in the evening. Come over here, Charlie, along with Louisa. This place is worth it. ये जगह रहने जैसी काफी है. And the letter was written on 18th July and it was signed by Sam. So now Charlie knew कि Sam कहाँ पहुँच गया? Third level. And Sam must have started the business which he wanted to start. Charlie went to that cash exchange counter and he came to know yes, that his friend Sam had exchanged dollars worth 800 for old currency. And he was sure that he must have set his own business which he wanted to do. The business of grains and animal feed. जानवरों को जो चारा देते हैं, चारा भूसा. This was the place, this was the job, this was the work which Sam wanted to do. Because he could not continue the work which he was doing at present. Because Charlie was nobody else but the psychiatrist friend of Charlie. So Sam gaya was nobody else but the psychiatrist who told Charlie that this is a waking dream wish fulfillment. You want to run away from this stressed life. Life full of worries, miseries, war, and so on. Maybe he wanted to go. So he had found the third level, and from that time onwards, Charlie and Louisa both are searching for the third level. So this is about this chapter, the third level. written by Jack Finney. Many questions coming to the mind of students. Did Sam vanish or disappear in reality? Does third level exist? So don't get confused. It is a figment of imagination. And third level is a dream world. It's a dream world which lies between dreams, or it's an imaginary world which lies between dreams, desires, and realities. So don't at all get confused about this particular chapter. It's totally fiction. ठीक? Let's start. So this chapter is just a psychological journey of the narrator from the present to the past and again maybe back to the future. This is a psychological journey, nothing else. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads. These are the names of different stations. Will swear on a stack of timetable that there are only two. What is stack? Pile of timetables. ढेर. Timetable के जो ढेर है, all the presidents of the different stations, they will swear. वो कसम खा के बोलेंगे कि there are only two. What two? Two levels. But I say there are three because I have been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. So what everybody knows, as per the timetable also, there are only two levels, but I know there is third level also. Yes, I've taken the obvious step. Which obvious step? He has spoken to his psychiatrist about this experience. I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station. And he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. That is, it's just a daydream. तुम्हारी इच्छा है, तुम जागते हुए भी सपने देखते हो. You can underline this, waking dream wish fulfillment. And the reason why the psychiatrist told this, he said I was unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad. तो उसकी वाइफ दुखी हो गई, पागल सी हो गई, because the psychiatrist told ये थोड़ा सा सनक गया है. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. So the psychiatrist friend told that, Charlie, you want to run away from these harsh realities, the trials and tribulations and difficulties of life. You want to run away from the reality to the past. ये तुम जीते जाते सपने देख लो. Well, who doesn't? तो चार्ली says, क्यों नहीं? कौन शांति की जिंदगी नहीं चाहता है? Everybody I know wants to escape. That is, everybody wants a peaceful, stress-free life. But they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Wander is, it is not wonder, it is wander. Wander is bhatakna. सबकी इच्छा होती है शांति की जिंदगी जिए, but it's not that everybody goes to the third level. Why the third level? To the peaceful place. But that's the reason he said, and my friends all agree. Everything points to it. They claim my stamp collecting. So what is this hobby of stamp collecting called? अभी तो पता है, the hobby is called as philately. You can expect such type of questions also. What is the hobby which Charlie had? Yes, you can get such questions. My stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. Refuge is shelter. Refuge is to take shelter. और यहाँ पे running away. This hobby of collecting stamps is running away temporarily into the past away from the reality, from the present. It's a temporary refuge from reality. Why? Because why is he saying this? It's a temporary refuge from reality. ओहो, बुक की मेरी जैसे हालत हो गई. Why is a temporary refuge of reality this stamp collecting? बोलो. Just keep your mind open, give the answer. Why does he say this? Because what is stamp? Old stamps. So you are trying to live in the past, away from the reality of the present. And it's a temporary refuge, temporary shelter. Well, maybe. But my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. वो तो हो सकता है. He's running away from the present, from the harsh realities. But my grandfather, he was living in a peaceful time. उनको तो दुनिया से, reality से भागने की जरूरत थी नहीं. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day, from all I hear. And he started my collection. So it is the grandfather's hobby of collecting stamps, which Charlie got it. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of 4 of practically every US issue, first day covers, and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too. You know? पता था कि नहीं? वो पूछ रहा है. पता था? सर आपने ही बताया. This President Roosevelt, उसका name एक और chapter में it had come. Do you remember? Deep water. Yes, President Roosevelt. All we have to fear is fear itself. So is just trying to say my grandfather did not want a refuge from reality. He did not want to run away from the present because there were no worries that time. And even the President of America, President Roosevelt, he too was fond of collecting stamps. He had no pressure, no tension, nothing. Pressure is not that those who collect stamps want to run away from the reality. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. Now he talks about his experience. Narendra, what is on? A, B, B, C, D. Deep water, acha. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. Now he talks about his experience, how he reached the 3rd level. One night, last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment. So I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. Uptown means northern side. His house was in the northern side and he decided to take the train rather than the bus. Now, I don't know why this should have happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old. And I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. Tan is dark colored. Dark brown is known as tan. Gabardine is a material. Just we have cotton clothes, silk clothes, nylon. So gabardine is again a thick material. But I am an ordinary person, 31 years old, and I was just wearing the normal clothes on that particular day. I'm just an ordinary guy. What is the meaning of this term guy? Guy? Don't say cow. Guy? A person. What is the feminine gender of guy? जैसे male, female, boy, girl. So what is the term for guy? Anyone? Yes, कोई है इधर सामने? Don't tell Mrs. Guy. Hi guys. बोलते हैं ना common term. So what will I use over here? Hi. एक और word आएगा उसके आगे. गाय का फेमिनाइन जेंडर बेल. यहाँ पे गेल. बेल याद रखना तो अपने आप याद आ जाएगा. गेल इज अ टर्म यूज फॉर फीमेल्स. हाय गर्ल्स, गर्ल्स के लिए, एंड बॉयज के लिए गाइस, नॉर्मल टर्म. दिस इज द I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a 10 gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy belt. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. वो तो मेरे दिमाग में कुछ भी नहीं था. I just wanted to get home to Louisa. And who is Louisa? My wife, not my wife. Charlie बोल रहा है, my wife. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level, where you take trains like the 20th century. These are the super fast trains. Then I walked down another flight to the second level, where the suburban trains leave from. Suburban trains? The slow trains, the passenger trains. Ducked into an arched doorway heading for the subway and got lost. So I just came across an arched door. What is arch? That curve? Door आया, वो झुका, and he realized that now he has lost his way. वो रास्ता भटक गया. That's easy to do. I've been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. But it's very common over here to lose the way, and many a times he has come up on different exits. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So अलग अलग जगह से निकलता है. Once he walked into the tunnel and he came out where? Into the lobby of a hotel. और एक बार स्टेशन के 3 बिल्डिंग छोड़ के place was there he came out. So different exits are there. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. It looks as the Grand Central is like a big tree. It has many different routes. New roots and branches are shooting out. हो सकता है one exit may come out near City Mall, एक exit Resonance के बाहर आ जाएगा, एक नया exit शायद may come out somewhere near Talwandi Circle. City Mall, Cine Mall, चलो ठीक है, Cine Mall बस. So, but there are different exits. It's a big tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now. But शायद एक बहुत बड़ी tunnel है. Not everybody knows. There might be a tunnel on its way to Times Square and maybe another to Central Park. So he's just saying maybe nobody knows where the different exits might be coming. कहाँ से अलग-अलग रास्ते निकलेंगे वो. And maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. तो लोगों के लिए ये आने जाने का एक रास्ता है. So people also like him might be coming out from different exits. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. But the people, like many people might be forgetting the way, losing the way. उसी तरह वो भी tunnel में जाके he lost his way. You can get a question. Yes, I was going through one book. A question was there that how did Charlie reach the 3rd level? He lost his way in a tunnel, and some other options were there. He wanted to go over there. He brought ticket and went to 3rd level. These are different options. वो कैसे पहुंचा था? He lost his way in the tunnel. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. Which idea? Which idea? The idea of escape. An escape from? Please mark this. This escape, which escape? Maybe उसके मन में था. He wanted to escape from the harsh reality of the presence. मैंने ये सोच मेरे दोस्त को नहीं बताई. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. He understood कि मैं रास्ता भटक चुका हूँ. He's walking on the wrong route. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. Soul over here is a person. Nobody was there. Not a single human being passed over there. He was just walking all alone. उसी के कदम की आवाज उसको सुनाई दे रही थी. Then I heard a sort of hollow roar ahead. That means open space and people talking. So now I could hear some sound coming. समझ गया that this tunnel is now opening. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the third level at Grand Central Station. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level. एक बार तो उसको लगा he has reached the second level from where he wanted to get a train. But now he saw various changes. But I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and ticket gates. And the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. So everything was old style. Smaller rooms, less offices, yes, few ticket windows, and everything old style. And the men in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. What are protectors? What are protectors? अभी आप सब पहनोगे 2 महीने बाद. What are protectors? Which protects you from the weather? Something like jacket. They were just wearing a full sleeve protector, a jacket. And the men in the booth wore a green eye shade. What could this eye shade mean? क्या लड़कियों जैसे green eye shade लगाया था? This green eye shade could be the green glass, green color का चश्मा, या maybe he might be having those greenish eyes. Anything you can take it over here. And the men in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Flickering? That unsteady light was there, not the fluorescent light. Then I saw why. They were open flame gas lights. So no fluorescent lights or bulbs were there. That time he has reached. Light किससे जल रही थी? रोशनी किससे थी? Gas lights. There were brass spittoons on the floor. What is spittoon? The meaning is there in the word itself. What is spittoon? The place to spit. The place to spit, that is spittoon. So, जो थूक दानी या पीक दानी जिसको बोलते हैं. But nobody believes this, such things. Where it is written, यहाँ थूकना मना है. सबसे ज्यादा दीवार पे उसी की पिचकारी दिखेगी, है ना? Okay. There were brass spittoons on the floor, and across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. Glint is a ray of light, एक रोशनी आई. A man was pulling a gold pocket from his vest pocket. Gold watch from his vest pocket. What is vest pocket? This side pocket. Yes. Or coat ka pocket, that is called as vest pocket. So usne, he took out the gold watch. So this wristwatch was not there. That gold watch. ढक्कन खोल के टाइम देखने वाली. Took out that gold watch. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch and frowned. Frowned is? What is frown? Frown is the opposite of smile. Why are you trying to bring a frown on my face by not telling the meaning of this? बता चुका हूं ना पहले ये. Smile, frown. So frown does not mean angry, angry expressions. That is frown. So he just saw the watch, time देखा, शायद उसका समय सही नहीं था, तो उसको थोड़ा सा गुस्सा सा आ गया. He wore a derby hat. Now different types of hats are there. He wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels. Lapels are the front part of the coat, or you can say something like that flap pocket. That they are called as lapels. And he had a big black handlebar mustache. What is this handlebar mustache? बड़े बड़े हैंडल जैसे, yes, curved, नथुलाल जैसी, बड़ी बड़ी मूछें थी उसकी. And he had a big black handlebar mustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1890 something. So this man was wearing that old style, old fashioned dress. Then he realized that everybody in and around, सब पुराने जमाने के जो फैशन थे, वो स्टाइल के कपड़े पहने थे. I never saw so many beards, sideburns and fancy mustaches in my life. उसने आज तक इतनी बड़ी बड़ी मूछे, दाढ़ियां, and side one is this one, kalam. What is? A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with a leg of mutton sleeves. Leg of mutton sleeves means tight fitting. Yes, tight fitting के उसने कपड़े पहने. A woman walked in through that. She wore a dress with a leg of mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. So this was the fashion which prevailed in the 1890s. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive. Locomotive is an engine. A very small Carrier and Ives locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. So those electrical engines were not there. तो पुराने जमाने में जो कोयले से चलते थे, funnel वाले, झुक 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 धुएं निकलते थे. That type of an old locomotive engine he saw. And then I knew. वो समझ गया he has reached in the past. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. It was the world, and the world hasn't been published for years. So he just saw the newspaper of the day when he reached this third level. The name of the newspaper is The World. Remember it. And the World newspaper was out of publication in the present. ये present पे नहीं आता था. This paper existed in the past. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. So Cleveland was the American president in the 1890s. I found that front page since in the public library files, and it was printed, remember this date, June 11, 1894. So this is the day when he has reached the third level as per him. I turned toward the ticket window, knowing that here, on the third level at Grand Central, I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go in the year 1894. And I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. You can underline this. Remember this place, Galesburg, Illinois. Remember the spelling also, because I can ask such questions, stupid questions in the test. Where did Charlie want to go? And I'll give you 4 different spellings of Galesburg. You can be confused, so yaad rakhna. I given you one answer, hai na? Abhi se. And I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. Have you ever been there? कभी गए हो वहां पर? Daughter is asking us, कभी गए हो? चलो, I'll take you. We'll have a journey. It's a wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, लकड़ी के बड़े-बड़े घर, huge lawns and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the street. Big branches, big trees, and the branches make a roof for the road. इतने बड़े-बड़े branches हैं. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long, and people sat out on their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the women waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all around in a peaceful world. So it was a very, very peaceful world. The men would be smoking cigars and the women would be waving the palm leaf fan. One question you can get over. In Galesburg, what type of people lived? Peaceful, enjoyable, the life enjoying people, orthodox and upper class, or people from lower class? This question is there, I think, in the question bank of CBSE. Peaceful people, people from the upper class and orthodox, people from the lower class, or none of these. What could be the answer? Peaceful people or what? Or people from the lower class or orthodox and upper class? क्या ले सकते हो आंसर? Take a clue from the men smoking cigars. upper class. Plus, they were aram se smoking. And what were the women doing? Patriarchal society, something like. वे अपना पंखा से हवा कर रहे हैं उनको, and the men are smoking cigars. So the answer is orthodox and upper class. Please remember this. With the fireflies all around in the peaceful world. What is fireflies? Yeah, Vanshika, correct answer. What is fireflies? Jugnu. Yes, light आती है तो दिखते नहीं है. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future. I wanted tickets for that. So this place, Gettysburg, Illinois, 1894, was far, far away from the destructions of the First World War and the Second World. First World War 20 years दूर था and second 40 साल. The clerk figured the fare. Figure is calculated. He glanced at my fancy headband, but he figured the fare. Why fancy headband? The clerk glanced at his fancy headband. Why fancy? It was fancy for the clerk because the dressing, the fashion, the style in 1890s was something different. तब derby hat चलती थी. He had worn something different. He glanced at my fancy headband, but he figured the fare. And I had enough for 2 coach tickets one way. He had enough money, he could buy single journey ticket. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. Clerk घूर रहा था उसको. He nodded at the bills. That ain't money, mister, he said. And if you're trying to skin me, you won't get very far. Skin me is deceive me, cheat me. ये he just showed him, ये पैसा नहीं है. अगर धोखा दोगे मुझे, मुझसे बचकर नहीं जा पाओगे. And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. तो उसने दिखाया, देखो पैसा ऐसा है. Cash drawer में सर, ये पैसा नहीं है, ये है. Of course, the money was old style bills. Half again as big as the money we use nowadays and different looking. So currency which was there in 1890s was different. I turned away and got out fast. There is nothing about jail. There is nothing nice about jail, even in 1894. Do you wanted to go to this peaceful place? But he did not want to go to jail of that 1890. And that was that. This is how the thing happened. I left the same way I came, I suppose. But जिस तरह से गया ना, शायद मैं उससे ही लौट कर आया. Next day, during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had, and bought old style currency. That really worried my psychiatrist friend. Why? This worried psychiatrist friend? Because Charlie wanted to go to the third level, to Gettysburg in the past, and he had exchanged money of the present, he had exchanged it for the currency which prevailed in the past. पुराने जमाने की उसने. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. What is premium? Anyone? ज़्यादा पैसा देना. What is the opposite of premium? Anyone? Cheap is costly. Premium is what you pay extra. Because for $200, he paid $300. So he paid that premium. Can anybody tell me the opposite of premium? A very, very common word. Project. No, budget is the general analysis. Nice attempt, but budget is not the answer. Yes, कौन Google Master है? अच्छा, option please. The students want option. What is discount? What do you mean by the term discount, which everybody likes? 20% discount. What does it mean? If the cost of the thing is 100 rupees, 20% discount तो कितना हुआ? कितने में मिल रही है? 80 में, so you are paying less. And the same thing, if you buy in 120, you are paying a premium 20%. So opposite of premium is discount. Okay. You have to pay a premium. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. That is, his $300 of the present brought him less than $200 of the past. But I didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. Eggs were 13 cents means the things were very, very cheap. He did not mind paying this $100 extra because he knew सब वसूल हो जाएगा. उस जमाने में सब चीज बहुत बहुत cheap थी. But I had never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station. Although I have tried often enough, many a times after exchanging the money, he went to seek or search the third level, but he was unsuccessful. Luisa was pretty worried when I told her all this and didn't want me to look for the third level anymore. And after a while, I stopped. I went back to my stamps. So when he told his wife, wife बोली क्या पागलपंती करते हो मत करो ऐसा ऐसी कोई जगह नहीं है. And then he stopped and he continued with his other work along with his stamp collection. But now we are both looking every weekend because now we have a proof that the third level is still there. The same Luisa told Charlie that stop looking, but now she also is searching for the third level because now they have a proof. My friend Sam Weiner disappeared. Nobody knew where, but I sort of suspected because Sam's a city boy and I used to tell him about Galesburg. I went to school there and he always said he liked the sound of the place. And that's where he is, all right, in 1894. So my friend disappeared, but he thought that my friend Sam कहाँ गया होगा? Galesburg, because Charlie would tell him about his school days of such peaceful, happy place. And Sam कौन था? He was a boy from the city. And now Charlie is a proof that Sam has reached Galesburg. And how he came to know? Because one night, fussing with my stamp collection, I found, well, do you know what a first day cover is? पता है first day cover क्या होता है? पता है? Good. When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to mail envelopes to themselves on the very first day of sale. And the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called a first day cover. They are never opened. You just put blank paper in the envelope. So this is first day cover. So when a new stamp is issued, the philatelists, they purchase, put it on the envelope, fix it on the envelope, and post that empty envelope, which has a blank paper. I won't say empty, a blank paper in that envelope, and they post it to their own address. That night, among my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there. He was just going through that collection of first day cover, and he just came across one cover which he thought ये यहाँ पर कैसा है, इसको तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए था. But there it was. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg. That's what the address on the envelope said. And it had been there since July 18, 1894. When did Charlie imagine that he had reached third level? 11th June. And this date, 18th July. Maybe this was the duration in which Sam may have found the way to the third level. And it had been there since July 18th, 1894. The postmark showed that. Yet, I didn't remember it at all. So what was the stamp which existed in 1894? The stamp was 6 cent, dull brown, with a picture of President Garfield. Please remember this also. You can get questions that whose picture was there on the 6 cent stamp of 1894. President Roosevelt, President Cleveland, President Garfield, and so on. Naturally, when the envelope came to granddad in the mail, granddad, grandfather, it went right into his collection and stayed there till I took it out and opened it. So now you can just imagine. First of all, first day covers are never opened. The first day cover के collection में था. It was addressed to the grandfather's house in Galesburg, and he opened it. It was not a blank paper. It was something was written onto it. The paper inside wasn't blank. It read. This is not our format of letter writing. This is on the right hand side. Yes, the present format is the address is written on the left hand side. 941 Villiers Street, Galesburg, Illinois, and July 18, 1894. Charlie, I got to wishing that you were right. So now Sam replies, when you told me, मैं सोचने लगा कि whatever you are telling me should be true. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it's true. So I thought कि whatever you are saying, शायद उसमें कुछ दम होगा. But now I know that whatever you told me, it's a fact. ये वास्तव में हुआ. I found the third level. I've been here 2 weeks, and right now, down the street at the Dailies, someone is playing a piano. That is, people are having a peaceful, enjoyable time. And they are all out on the front porch singing, "Seeing Nelly Home," and song which everybody is singing and enjoying. And I'm invited over for lemonade. What is lemonade? I think Nibu Pani Shikanji. Yes. And I'm invited over for lemonade. So this shows that people were friendly also. He was staying here only for 2 weeks, but उसी के बीच में दोस्ती भी हो गई. He has been invited. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it, believe me. ये जगह वास्तव में मस्त है. Yes. आ जाओ along with Louisa. The note is signed Sam. So Sam is the one who, his friend who had disappeared, who was a city boy. At the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. When he came to know this, when he saw this letter, he went to confirm, and he went to that cash counter, and he came to know his friend had exchanged dollars worth 800. That ought to set him up in a nice little hay feed and grape business. He's always said that's what he really wished he could do. But this was the work which his friend wanted. He wanted to set up his own Shanti Purvak Janwaro ka chara and grain business. He always said that that's what he really wished he could do. And he certainly can't go back to his old business. Okay, जो उसका यहाँ का काम था of present, he could not start that business in 1894. Not in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894. His old business? Why? Sam was a psychiatrist. So the person who was missing was nobody else but the psychiatrist friend of Charlie. And he could not continue his profession as a psychiatrist over there. Why? Because in 1894, there was no stress, no worry, no war, कोई चिंता की चिंता की था, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था उधर. So he could not continue with his profession of psychiatrist. तब psychiatrist शायद नाम किसको पता ही नहीं होगा. And Charlie realized he must have started his grain business and the animal feed business. So he could not start his profession which was doing at the present. So what do you understand from this chapter now? Excuse me. So don't at all get confused. Many questions will be there in the mind of the readers. And the author has left this thing open for you to think. Is it really that Charlie had reached, या पूरी स्टोरी हुई थी, ये घटना घटी थी. Did Sam disappear? Had Sam reached the third level? All imaginary things are there. So just remember two things. The third world level is a dream world which lies between dreams, desire, and reality. I'm using all the three terms. And this chapter is the intersection of time and space. Yes. Earlier, this was one of the important questions. Do you see the intersection of time and space in this chapter? Yes, there are many incidents. From present, Charlie is in present, but he reaches the past, that is the third level. Sam, who was in present, has reached the past. So somewhere at a time, plus that letter is there at present, but it was of the past. लिखा हुआ था. So there is some intersection of time and space over here. So this chapter you can imagine is something like a time travel. It's the transition of Charlie from the past, sorry, from the present to the past and then again back to the future. This is about this chapter. So don't get confused anywhere. Don't have any sort of doubts. Any doubts in the mind, get it clarified. Totally a chapter, fictional chapter, this one. Yes, over here. This is what somebody asking me, Aman, why he opened it. So this is going against. First of all, it is in the collection of first day cover. In the first day cover, the things are, the paper is blank, not open, because everybody knows the paper is blank. But he opened it. So all these things go contradictory. This is what he's imagining, that he came to know about Sam via the letter which was there in the collection of first day cover. Therefore, he opens it. Okay, Aman? Date तो अंदर था ना? हाँ. And he also saw the date. It was July 18, 1894. The time, the tentative date around which he had reached the third level. Yes. So therefore, he became curious and he opened it. This is it. Okay. Good. I'd like to discuss the first question in the text. Do you think that the third level was a medium of escape for Charlie? What do you feel? Question number 1 from the text, NCERT. Only for discussion. Subjective questions are not there. We have time, so we can discuss it out. Was it a medium of escape? Yes or no? We can say yes, because friends wanted refuge from reality. And that statement is there. He did not tell about this idea to his psychiatrist friend. Kaun sa idea? The idea of escape. He was fed up with this life full of worry, stress, miseries, sufferings, war, and so on. So, what was the third level? This third level he created on his own to seek shelter, but to seek refuge from the reality. This is what this created this third level to ease out the tensions, the worries, maybe which he was surrounded with in this modern competitive world. He wanted a stress-free life. So this was just a world created by him, something on his own. And this, so yes, we can say this is a medium of escape. Question number 4 also to understand. Do you see an intersection of time and space in the story? Yes, we can see the intersection of time and space because in the present, as per the story, as per the chapter, in present there were 2 levels, but there is an intersection and there is a third level in the past. So intersection of time and space. Charlie and Louisa living in present, but they also want to go to the past. So there is some intersection. That space is there where they both wanted to go. And what was that place? Galesburg, Illinois, in the year 1894. Plus, we can also analyze one more thing: the intersection of time and space, the dressing sense, which prevail in the present, and the dress in the past. Plus, the lights, the newspaper, the world. It was in the past, not in the present. So, tha kabhi. So, intersection of time and space. And this letter received by the letter from Sam. It had reached where? Somewhere in the past, at his grandfather's address of Galesburg. And he was reading this letter in present. So there is some intersection. एक point होगा जहाँ पे वो चीज हुई थी, and that past and present are there. So as per the thing, in reality, we don't know anything whether time machine exists. Can time travel be possible? हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है. We know nothing about it. We imagine. And the last question to discuss, question number 5. Try to understand this question. Apparent illogicality sometimes turns out to be a futuristic projection. What does this mean? The things may sound to be illogical at present, but the things may be projected out. The things may be a success in the future. Is it possible? होता ही है. Whatever inventions and discoveries have taken place is a simple example. Maybe years back, nobody could have ever dreamt. People must have just visualized the birds flying. Maybe somebody must have thought that human beings can also fly. जब उसने बोला होगा तो सब बोलेगा अबे बेवकूफ, कभी हो सकता है क्या? But then the Wright brothers, they did it. Somebody thought, they worked onto it, and now you just see the speed at which a person can fly with the help of the airplanes. Long back ago, this long time, you must have heard this name, Leonardo da Vinci. नाम सुना होगा? Yes. What is his magnum opus? I use a nice, अचानक याद आ गया. Magnum opus is a person's best work that is called as magnum opus. Honored word. Magnum opus. So what was one of the best work of Leonardo da Vinci? नाम पता है क्या था उसके पेंटिंग का? Mona Lisa. Yes, he had Mona Lisa. In one of the paintings of Leonardo da Vinci, yes, he has just shown something like an airplane flying, something like an aeroplane flying. So this is what लोगों को the things come into the mind. It looks to be illogical at that time, but no doubt the things turn into reality. The thing which you are talking about, time machine. Maybe when you talk about time machine, it may sound to be illogical at present. लगता है ना खाली हम बात कर सकते हैं, but at least the things have come into the mind. It may sound illogical, but yes, you all intelligent persons, आगे जाके scientist बनोगे, engineer बनोगे. Who knows that your intelligent mind can turn this illogical looking thing into a reality? किसको पता है? हो सकता है ना कि शायद आप ही कुछ कर लो आगे चल के. Who knows? So this is something about this part. The things sound to be illogical because in this chapter is all about time travel, journey from the present to the past and then again back to the future. This is something about this particular question. So any doubts यहाँ पर? Anyone? Yes or no? नहीं? Never. Do you want some questions to practice? Take down two or three questions I'll give you. ज़्यादा नहीं, only 2 or 3 questions if you want to work out. Question number 1, no doubt is important. Is the third level a medium of escape for Charlie? In the text that you can tick it, that question you can tick. One more question for practice. What do you know about? What do you know about Galesburg, Illinois, 1894? What do you know about Galesburg, Illinois, 1894? Next, what is first day cover? What is first day cover? Some doubts? Yeah, evening IP batch, the things will restart. Half as big as the money, that is the size. The size of the note was half as big as what was there in the present. A new batch is being started. Yes, the things will restart over there. What is first day cover? And how did Charlie realize? How did Charlie realize that he has reached the third level? Yeah, by all the surroundings. Yes, you can just put those things in the mind because you can get anything in the form of a question. If I'm just giving such things. When did Charlie realize that he has reached the third level? Who is Sam? Who is Sam? The psychiatrist friend of. Who is Sam? Question mark. Continue. Where did he disappear? Where did he disappear? And the last question. Why are Charlie and Louisa, Louisa, why are Charlie and Louisa searching for the third level? Why are Charlie and Louisa? Narendra, you can imagine anything over here. I told you this chapter is fiction. Maybe Charlie is daydreaming the entire thing, or it is his figment of imagination. Anything you can analyze. But just keep in mind, this is what I was telling, intersection of space and time and imaginary world. Try to put these things and this chapter will be easier to understand. So this is all for today. We have one more class this week. I don't know when it is, but we have one more class Thursday. And we'll take up the last chapter, a bit lengthy. These are only 3 pages. That chapter is 8 times this chapter, around 23 pages का वो chapter है. The Enemy, written by Pearl Buck. But we'll try to make it interesting. So see you again in the next class. Thank you all. What are the first question I gave? Somebody wants the first question. नहीं चार्ले का characters कहते हैं. What are the first question I gave? I could not get you. Acha, the first question was, and the first question was I told you from the text itself. Do you think third level is the minimum of escape? And the question which I dictated is, what do you know about Galesburg, Illinois? Yes. Thank you, those students who have also informed me. Thank you all. See you again soon. Any other class?